From a historical standpoint, Pinkster is best known as an African celebration, the African expression of this Christian celebration. Pinkster, the word, is shortened for the Dutch word for Pentecost, the second major feast of the Christian year. Many of the enslaved that come into New York, then New Netherland, were exposed to Christianity or were Christian themselves when they were enslaved. There is a big difference in how the enslaved were held here in New Netherland than they were in other places like in the South or the Caribbean or the West Indies. Our plantations are called manors. They are the size of the plantations that you find in the South and sometimes even larger, but they're not worked as one individual farm. Colonial law said that no more than 3 enslaved people could gather together at one time. So they didn't see their family, they didn't see their friends. So in that large manorial system, you have people that are together, but they're isolated. Pinkster is the only time where they're given anywhere from 3 to 5 days off. They can travel without a pass, and they did. They got on the boats, they walked, they took wagons or horses or whatever they could to go to large places like the gatherings at Pinkster Hill, here in Albany, where the Capitol stands today. So the celebration of Pinkster here in New Netherland, although we say the Dutch brought it, it is actually that foundation that the Africans brought with them, their own way of celebrating and worshiping. When we look at descriptions of Pinkster, particularly when we look at them here in Albany, what we see is the reconstruction of an African village. Among those who were enslaved during this time were some royalty. In Albany, where the most famous Pinkster celebration took place, a king named King Charles was responsible for overseeing all of the activities associated with the Pinkster celebration. The instruments are not those of Europe, they are those of Africa. It is the drum, and later string instruments. It is dance, playing games, sharing food, and passing down ancestral stories.
And he called to Anansi to come because he had a very special mission for him.
The drums are the way of opening the gateway to the divine. They're calling down the ancestors to walk amongst us and to be with us. And that's what happens during Pinkster. So it is both that cultural celebration, but in African traditions, there is no separation between spirituality and reality. We walk both paths all the time. So it is the drumming that will open those gateways, and it is the drumming that also closes those gateways. Pinkster is an opportunity to get centered in self. Pinkster is an opportunity to get support from your community to help you move forward in your life. And that's where we are right now, making choices.
We give thanks to our ancestors because we know if they have given up, we would not be here.
Martin Luther King was very much into looking at culture, connecting to culture. And one of the challenges that I feel the African American community has now is to dispel the lies around the absence of culture that those enslaved did not have, which in truth is a lie. They had an amazing culture. So I do encourage everyone to use this as an opportunity. Get curious. This is the time, this is your opportunity to embrace a depth and breadth of your culture that many of us have not explored.